Hello everyone, and today we're gonna talking about the comparing the data warehouse and data lake in another side of the schema evolutions. So when we ingest data or we pull data from data sources, land it into our platform, our system, there are two ways to process. And about the schema, there's the schema on write and schema on read. I think you have familiar with the info schema where you define your own schema like rename the columns, adding the new columns, define the schema for your data sources before they ingest it and load it into the data warehouse and data lake that we call the schema a schema on write. And also with the schema on write, we have the schema on read where you ingest all the raw data into the data lake, and then from that data, the data science or data analyst can query the data, and schema will be designed at the phase of analytics. So one example here is you're familiar with the Snowflake data warehouse or data warehouse. They store all the JSON file with the variant data type in the column, and then if the analytics or data science want to look into deeper what are the data fields, they can extract the data from that field variant type, and from there we just need to store only the mandatory columns, which is the audit columns or primary columns, and for all the data, all the value, we can flexible store into the variant type and perform analysis, perform the ETLs. And I think before schema on write or schema on read, we can compile those together, like we ingest all the data into a data lake, and then we define what are primary um, columns that we need to have. We need to dedicate that column, that value into the column of the bronze layer or the station layer, and then we have the variant columns. We store all the key value pair. We store all the array of data. Then we can pass it later, ingest and transform it later. So with that case, we can flexible to store the data and perform analytics later without any backfilling data or ingestion data. Which is super cool because in the data engineering, if customer require a new column, the new value added, or need to ingest from source for backfilling data, like creating a new column and backfilling all the historical data, we should have the better way to handle the backfilling, like we have the data already exists in the variant type columns, and then we just put up and use that column for analytics, and no need to backfill ingest all the historical data. So I think that's the more advantage of the modern data warehouse. And let me know your thought, and if you have any other questions or other opinions, so leave a comment below, and see you in next one. Bye bye.